Now we will study about the consequences of the First War of Independence 1857. As per our revised syllabus, we have to study about the only two consequences. Number one, end of the company's rule, and number two, change in the administrative setup. So let us start with consequence number one, that is end of the company's rule. 1857 में हमने अंग्रेजों को घुटनों के बल पर लाया था। ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के शासन को हमने उसी वक्त दफनाया था। सो यस माय डियर स्टूडेंट, द फर्स्ट एंड वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्सिक्वेंस of the first war of independence 1857 is the end of the company's rule. East India Company's rule came to an end in India by Government of India Act 1858, which was enacted by the Parliament of Great Britain, which had the following provisions. According to Government of India Act 1858, the power to govern India was transferred from East India Company to the British Crown. While the authorities over India was earlier in the hands of the director of the company and board of control, the power was now exercised by the Secretary of the State for India, aided by a council. The Secretary of State was responsible to the Parliament. Thus, the ultimate power over India remained in the hands of the British Parliament. According to this act, Secretary of State's salary and allowances were to paid out of the revenue of India. Actual governance was to be carried out on by the Governor General, who was also given a title of Viceroy or Crown's personal representative. Lord Canning was appointed as the first Viceroy under this act, and for your kind information, Lord Mountbatten was the last Viceroy of India. So earlier we had this post called a Governor General of India. Now that post was transferred or changed to the Viceroy of India, and Lord Canning was the first Viceroy of India and Lord Mountbatten was the last Viceroy. Please remember this. This is very important from your examination point of view. तो अब आया था ऊंट पहाड़ के नीचे। गोरे लोग समझ चुके थे कि अब इंडिया में रूल करना उतना आसान नहीं होगा, क्योंकि इंडियंस ने रिवोल्ट कर दिया है। इस बार तो उन्होंने इंडियन रिवोल्ट को दबा दिया, लेकिन अब वो अगर अपने काम करने के तरीके को नहीं बदलेंगे तो इंडिया में रूल करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा। इसलिए उन्होंने ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी के रूल को खत्म करने का निर्णय ले लिया और अब इंडिया को रूल करेगा ब्रिटिश पार्लियामेंट। उन्होंने गवर्नर जनरल ऑफ इंडिया इस पद को खत्म कर दिया और नया पद इंट्रोड्यूस किया, दैट वाज वाइसरॉय ऑफ इंडिया, और लॉर्ड कैनिंग ये इंडिया के पहले वाइसरॉय बने। और आखिरी वाइसरॉय ऑफ इंडिया था लॉर्ड माउंटबेटन। ये दो नाम आपको याद रखने हैं। इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फ्रॉम योर एग्जामिनेशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू। The transfer of governance from East India Company to British Crown was made public through Queen Victoria's proclamation, which was made public at Allahabad on 1st November 1858 by Lord Canning, the first Viceroy of India. The proclamation promised that Government of India would henceforth have the following provisions. Provision number 1 was the British government in India would henceforth follow a policy of non-intervention in the social and the religious matter of the Indians. Provision number 2 was that British government in India would treat all the subjects, whether a Indian or a Britishers, on equal basis. No one is superior and no one will be inferior. All the appointments will be on the basis of education and ability. British government in India would also grant a general pardon to all those who have taken part in the war, except those who are found guilty of murder of a British subjects. According to Queen Victoria's proclamation, the British government in India will now work for the welfare of the Indians. They will promote public utility works in India to ensure the materialistic as well as moral progress of the people. और इलाहाबाद में 1 नवंबर 1858 को क्वीन ऑफ विक्टोरिया का एक प्रोक्लेमेशन आया और उस प्रोक्लेमेशन में कुछ बातें प्रॉमिस की गई इंडिया को। वो ये थी कि अब से ब्रिटिशर्स इंडिया के धर्म के मामले में इंटरफेयर नहीं करेगा और अब से वो इंडियंस और ब्रिटिशर्स को इक्वली ट्रीट करेंगे, कोई भी सुपीरियर और कोई भी इंफीरियर नहीं होगा। सबको जॉब मिलेगा, नौकरियां मिलेगी, अपॉइंटमेंट होगी उनकी काबिलियत पर, उनके एजुकेशन पर, उनके शिक्षण के आधार के ऊपर। और उन्होंने निर्णय लिया अगर किसी ने मर्डर नहीं किया होगा मगर उसने रिवोल्ट ऑफ 1857 में पार्टिसिपेट अगर किया होगा तो उसके ऊपर जो केसेस दर्ज है वो सारे वो खत्म कर देंगे। इतना ही नहीं, उन्होंने ये निर्णय भी लिया कि इसके आगे वो इंडिया का और इंडियन लोगों का विकास करने की पूरी कोशिश करेंगे। The second consequence of the first war of independence in 1857 was the changes in the administrative setup. The following important changes were made in the British administrative setup in India. First change was the end of the company's rule and power was transferred to the crown. Then company's board of control and court of directors were completely abolished. Third, the Secretary of States to be assisted by the Indian Council of 15 members. Fourth, appointment in civil services to be made by open competition under rules made by the Secretary of State. Next change in the administrative setup was Viceroy took over the administration of the British government in India. Now salaries and allowances were to be found out of the revenue of India. And last, the Governor General received the additional title of Viceroy. British government in India also decided to change the relation with princely states. Thus, the policy of annexation and the doctrine of lapse were totally abandoned. Some Indian princes has remained loyal to the Britishers and they have even helped them to suppress the uprising. Their loyalty was rewarded with the announcement that their right to adopt heir would be respected and the integrity of their territory guaranteed against the future annexation. This was a great relief to the princely states. In 1876, Queen Victoria assumed title Empress of India. Indian princes willingly became the agents of crown because they were promised that they would continue to be as the ruler of their states. Last and very important change made by the British was the change in the administrative setup of the army. Learning the lesson from their previous mistake, now the strength of the European troops in India was increased. The ratio of Europeans to Indian troops was 1:2 in Bengal army and 2:5 in Madras and Bombay army. Also, European troops were kept in the key geographical and military positions. Earlier policy of excluding Indians from the officer corps were strictly maintained. To desist Indian soldiers from rising again against British ruler, the sophisticated weapons and ammunition were never placed under the charge of Indians. All Indians artillery units except few mountain units were disbanded. The organization of Indian section of the army was based on the policy of balance and counterpoise or divide and rule so as to prevent prevent another anti-British uprising. Newspaper, journals, nationalist publications were prevented from reaching the soldiers to keep the Indian soldiers separated from the rest of the population. These were some of the important changes made by the British government in India in their administrative setup. We have seen that even the mighty empire like the British Empire is not invincible. तो फाइनली हम देखते हैं कि ब्रिटिशर्स ने इंडिया के ऊपर ज़्यादा ध्यान देना शुरू किया और जो कुछ मिस्टेक्स उन्होंने पास्ट में किए थे उस मिस्टेक को सुधार दिया और उन्होंने अपने एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव सेटअप यानी कि कामकाज करने के तरीके में बहुत सारे बदल इंट्रोड्यूस किए, बहुत सारे चेंजेस इंट्रोड्यूस किए. Now have a look at this map. In the pink color, you see the areas which were under the dominance of the British government in India. And in yellow color, these are the princely states. The British government of India has divided India in 3 territories. One is the Bombay territory, second one is the Madras territory, and third one the mighty Bengal territory. Please have a look at this map carefully. The knowledge of this map will help you to understand the forthcoming chapters. With this, we come to an end of this big and very important chapter in your history textbook, that is First War of Independence 1857. I hope you have enjoyed learning this chapter from me. Please make sure that along with this video lecture, you also solve worksheet and question bank and previous year's questions so that you are exam ready and you are ready to take your board examination with full confidence. See you all in my next video.